Today I'm going to take a look at finding some local maxes and mins on a given curve using your TI-84 calculator. For my first example here, we're going to do an f of x equals 7x to the third minus 2x minus 3. So your first task is going to be to come over here and hit your y equals button and enter your function. So I'm going to do 7x raised to the third. All right, and again, that cursor is still up there in that exponent, so you're going to want to make sure an arrow to the right before you finish entering the equation, minus 2x minus 3. All right, now, again, you could just hit graph and go see what it looks like. I think I want to put the standard viewing window on so that we can encounter what's going to happen here. If I hit zoom 6, that's going to give me just the standard viewing window, and I want to see what the function is going to look like when we do that. Okay, so as we suspected, this is a cubic equation with your end behavior of down up. Okay, now right in here is where your local maxes and mins are going to appear. Okay, but doing that standard viewing window, that's kind of crunched up and I can't see it very well. So I am going to do the just a review over the zoom box feature. So if I hit the zoom and then I do that Z box, I guess instead of zoom box, Z box, I hit 1, that's going to allow me to create a little box around the area that I want to zoom in on. So I'm going to, you can see the little blinking cursor, especially if I move over. All right, right there is a little blinking cursor. That, if I'm going to make a little box with this, I want that to be the top left-hand corner of my box. So that should be probably pretty good right in there. I'm going to hit enter. All right, and now I'm going to create the box. So as soon as I start going to the right, it gives me just a line, but as soon as I go down, then now that's letting me encompass the area that I want to see there. All right, now everything inside that box now is what I'm going to be zooming in on, and then hopefully I'm going to really be able to see those local maxes and mins of this curve. Let's go ahead and hit enter and see what happens. Okay, so it did. All right, I can clearly see I've got a local max right here, and I've got a local min right there. Okay, so now you're going to have to find them individually, so let's just do the max first. All right, you're going to hit second, calc, and when you do that, then your menu comes up again, and a choice in that menu will be maximum. So that's going to help me locate my maximum value, so I'm going to hit 4. All right, the calculator will then go through a series of questions. It wants the left bound of that maximum. So you've got your little blinking cursor right there. So you're going to arrow over to the left side of that max. All right, pretty much anywhere on the left side. There's the max. I'm now on the left side, my left bound. I'm going to hit enter. All right, then it's going to tell me to go to the right bound or right side of that max. I want to make sure I crest that hill plenty good. Okay, hit enter. All right, now it's going to want you to guess at where that maximum is. Technically, you can just go ahead and hit enter, but I always like to, arrow back over to where I think that max is going to be. All right, hit enter. All right, and then my maximum point is at x equals negative 3.308, and the y value is a negative 2.5. All right, so depending on how you're being asked to identify this, if you're actually identifying the maximum point, local maximum point, you would write it as an ordered pair. So let's come over here and go ahead and do that. Get my little cursor and everything set up here. All right, so my max, if I enter this as an ordered pair, okay, so it was negative 0.31. I'm going to go out 2 places. All right, coming back over because I don't remember the value, negative 2.59. So negative 2.59. Yep, there we go. Close that set of parentheses right there. All right, so listing that as an ordered pair, let's enlarge that so we can see it a little bit bigger. All right, so then there is my maximum local point. All right, going out 2 decimal places on both. Okay, now I'm going to be finding the min next, so let's go ahead and set that up for that. Let's come back over. Okay, now I've got to go through this whole entire process again, so I'm going to do second calc. I'm going to get my menu, and this time I want the minimum value, so I'm going to select 3. All right, and again, it's going to ask me to go through those 3 steps again: left bound, right bound, and guess. All right, there's the blinking cursor. Right here's my minimum, so I'm going to arrow over just a little bit closer to it, and hit enter. Right bound, I'm going to move the cursor to the right-hand side of that minimum value, hit enter, and then I'm going to guess at about where that minimum would occur at, and hit enter. All right, after a little bit of thinking, all right, it's showing me an x value of 0.30 and a y value of negative 3.4. All right, so I can then go ahead and list those as an ordered pair. All right, so 0.3, and if I round, that'd be a 1. And then let's go back and look at that y value. It looked like negative 3.41. So negative 3.41. All right, let's enlarge that so we can see it a little bit better there. Okay, so there I have local maxes and mins listed as ordered pairs. All right, so if I'm actually wanting the maximum point and the minimum point, then I can list them as ordered pairs. All right, so just a little short tutorial there on finding your local maxes and mins and then writing them as an ordered pair.